Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno's Best Comics of the Week. And before I jump in, at the end of the video, we talk about the viewer's pick of the week. So in the comments below, let me know your pick of the week. Now, I also will be on vacation for 2 weeks, so I will not have videos most likely for the next 2 weeks, but then we'll be back to our usual programming. Now, this was a pretty small week for comics, and number 7, believe it or not, I only have 7 comics. Number 7 for me is Justice League Dark Tomorrow Special Issue 1. This is following more what's been going on in the Justice League comic books and the World's Finest comics, and I have to say those are ones I have dropped just because I wasn't as interested in those stories. It does seem like this book is going to continue into other places, even with a preview of that new Batman title that I am pretty excited for with Kyle Higgins. So I'm curious to see where this is going to take us, but there wasn't anything here for me to be like, wow, I personally really enjoyed this. I think it just depends on what side of the DC universe you're currently reading. So overall, I'm giving that one 2 stars, and that is number 7. Moving on to number 6, which is the Incredible Hulk issue 27. This was definitely more of a filler issue, kind of a one and done about this kid who dies and he's kind of teaming up with Hulk, and we see his family history. I do wish this was a little bit more on the emotional side for something that is a one-shot and does have to do with the kid, but it does and did feel a little cliche at moments, and I just couldn't get into this one, especially because this book has felt like it has lost momentum over the past couple of arcs. So overall, giving that one 2.5 stars, and that is number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is The Thing, issue 3. This is another point A to point B issue where we mostly just see action where the Thing teams up with the little girl who's been kidnapped, and you learn a little bit more about his history with the mother and the uncle. But for the most part, it is an action issue between the villains and the Thing as he tries to save this girl who you think should be special because they kidnapped her, and you don't really get an answer of why that's happening in this issue, which I thought that should have had some movement. But still, I'm having a fun time with this. I like seeing Ben on his own, and I like exploring more of the Yancey Street lore, and I think the girl was an interesting character enough. So giving that 3 stars, and that is number, I believe that was number 5. Moving on to number 4, which is Titans Annual Issue 1. I normally don't read Titans. It's been a while since I've picked up the series, but this is a whole new kind of different book. It's a one-shot where you get to see Phil Jimenez, who's worked on the Teen Titans and Donna in particular a lot, telling kind of an origin type story with Donna. And it's Donna talking to her father through letters and talking about her life. And I liked aspects of it. I enjoyed the realization that her dad was gay. I thought that was really interesting. The thing that bogs this down a little bit though is the dialogue. There's a lot of dialogue, and it is mostly exposition to explain where Donna has been. So I feel like fans of Donna are going to really like this because it does take such a deep dive and does get into her head a little bit. But I feel like as a neutral Donna fan, it didn't give me the emotional pull I wanted. And again, it was a little bogged down. So overall, giving that 3 stars, and that is number 4. Moving on to number 3, which is Ultimate Spider-Man issue 19. I like this issue. I do feel like it's building towards something, and obviously we know the Ultimate Universe is going to end. We don't know what that means for this run and what this means for the universe as a whole. But here we get to see a little bit more of the family dynamics as the son delves a little bit more into Venom, and MJ and Peter has to deal with that, and that tests their relationship. That's mostly all that happens in this issue. It's not much progress here, but I do think it's a build up to something interesting with MJ and her being in on the know of all the different Spider-Man things that have been going on. So overall, giving that one 3.5 stars, and that is number 3. Moving on to number 2, another Spider-Man book. Like seeing Spider-Man books up higher here. And that's Spider-Man vs. the Sinister 16. Now, I like this book for the very reason I felt like this book doesn't really sell you on the title. Now, I was expecting this kind of villainous issue where we get to see Spider-Man versus 16 other villains. But instead, this is MJ and Peter going to a French restaurant, seeing other heroes and being like, I don't want to talk to them right now, and seeing other villains, and there ends up being some small moments where they fight. And there's almost like a food fight in this issue. And I kind of like this because it was just fun. That's what you want to see with a one-shot. You get to see MJ and Peter together. You get to see the other heroes. And it was a memorable issue for me for that, instead of just doing 16 different villains that you're trying to introduce or be menacing. I thought this was a better route to go with this issue, but I do think it's a little misleading for people who were looking more for that villainous introduction of the Sinister 16. So giving that one 3.5 stars, and that's number 2. Moving on to number 1, which is DC Kal-El-Fornia Love, issue 1. I wasn't originally going to get this book just because I was like, all right, this kind of feels like a filler, but there was next to no comic books out, and I was like, why not try it out? And I was pleasantly surprised with this one. There's a lot of shorts I enjoyed, and what I really liked about this book in particular, 2 things. Obviously the setting, to see Superman in a place other than Metropolis and something that we all could know in real life, which is California, and especially what I enjoyed is the characters they focused on. It wasn't just Superman 10 times, it wasn't just Lois, it was Lois focusing on our journalism, it was Jimmy Olsen actually tying into his old series that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, it was Lucy Lane returning, it was Connor and John finding a friendship and common ground. And that's the stuff I really liked about this, because the short stories felt necessary either in a theme way like the journalism story for Lois and why journalism is important, or more of a character way with Connor and John teaming up and finally getting to know each other. So I really liked the shorts here. The artwork was really, really solid as well. There wasn't one page where I was like, oh, the art's a little off here. I really, really just enjoyed all the stories, and I thought it was a solid collection to tell a California story, all while giving some movement to characters you normally don't see, like Ice going to a basketball game. That was a lot of fun too. And Power Girl kind of joining that as well. So overall, giving that one 3.5 stars, and that's my pick of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite books were, and I usually would do a viewer's pick of the week, but I was off for San Diego Comic-Con. But let me know in the comments below what your pick of the week was. This is Comic Uno, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.